I think everybody will hear better that way, except
Okay.
for the speakers, obviously.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And I know a lot of you probably have had experience with Zoom calls and things. So I might suggest too, we will have some time for some questions at the end,
Okay.
but I would suggest you don't need to hold, if you are familiar enough to use the chat and can enter your questions that way, we can try to address them. Sometimes it's a little hard in a Zoom conference to people not knowing when to speak and when not to speak. And so that would be helpful too. But anyway, I just want to introduce you to Yajim Amadu. He came to Columbus, Ohio to get his master's degree from CCAD. So he is a sculptor, and he'll show some pictures of some of his work. And he's working right now commercially producing sculptures out of granite and stone, which is pretty amazing. But he's got some great stories, how he got here, and some of the important people that have helped him along the way. So Yajim, I'm going to turn it over. Welcome very much to WIN, and you're, I think, an exciting neighbor for all the people here to meet. So,
thank you very much for this opportunity giving me this evening. Today is a great day for me because this is the first time. Are you seeing the pictures?
have you shared your desktop?
Just a minute. Where is the sharing?
Sharing is bottom of the screen.
Huh?
It's located at the bottom of the screen. It says the share screen.
Yeah, share screen. Okay. Yeah. It's like my browser is preventing me from sharing, preventing access to your sharing. Oh.
Did you receive any prompts?
No. It's just like I mean, when I click for sharing,
Share your screen, right?
Tell me that, yeah, your browser is preventing access to your share screen.
Yeah, you can click OK or yes, and
I'm not seeing. Okay, let me see. Allow.
There okay.
Yeah.
We got your video back now.
Okay, so let me see. Are you seeing the pictures?
Not yet.
Huh.
I see you. Do you others see him?
Yeah. We're just trying to get his desktop displayed here.
Do you see any image?
No image yet.
Yajim, go to share screen.
Okay. Yeah, I went to share screen.
Okay, what you are seeing now on the screen?
Yeah. I went to share screen, and it's telling me that your browser is preventing access to your share screen. So I don't know where the fault is.
There's not an opportunity to override and give it permission. Yes to allow, or
No, he can share. I gave the permission to share screen.
Assembly. Can you see my browser on the screen saying it's preventing me from sharing on the screen? Well, we did share it yesterday, but I don't know why Today it's not allowing me to share. Okay.
Could you try opening it in a different browser?
Okay, let me try open it in different browser and see. Maybe that might be helpful.
I don't know if you feel comfortable talking while you're.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to use this and see if it will work. Okay. Trying to see.
Why
Okay.
don't?
Yeah, I think I have to be doing the talking whilst searching for the.
Yeah, I was going to say, or just bring your camera back up, and I think you can create some good images just with your words.
All right. Yeah, are you seeing me?
No, we're not seeing you anymore.
Okay.
And you found the little image of the camera there. Now you're mute. Oh, okay, there you're back. Okay.
It's like meeting alert. Host has asked you to start video. Okay. Can you see me now?
No, we'll tell you. We see you. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Let's just. I know you want to bring the images up, but
Your screen. Oh, your browser is preventing access to your shared
Okay.
screen. That is what it's saying.
All right. Well, let's just,
Yeah. Like initially, you introduced me as a Ghanaian artist. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, and Ghana is formerly it was called the Gold Coast because we were being colonized by the British, and because of the gold that was found along the coast and parts of the country, the British, they named it Gold Coast. And until we gained independence in 1957, and then where the British finally hand over Ghana to us. And Ghana was the first country in the sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from the British. So I just wanted I wanted to show the image of the map of Ghana and to show where I'm coming from, and but it's unfortunate the screen cannot be shown. I don't know. The other day it worked very well. I don't know what is happening today.
but computers are like that sometimes.
Yeah, they disappoint you at a time that yeah, you don't expect.
Yajim, it was a slideshow, Google slide, or it was presentation?
Yeah, the slide. It's what do you call it? It's
Google slides or
no, it's
PowerPoint?
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
PowerPoint, yes.
Yeah. Now, is it already open, your PowerPoint on your computer?
Is it what?
Is it already opened?
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to share your screen on the Zoom, it should be which screen is open on your computer. It shows you need to select the presentation one.
Yeah, if like the problem I'm having here is like when I click share the screen, there is some inscription that appears on top of the screen that tells me that my browser is preventing me from accessing my share screen.
Okay, give me a second.
So that is the challenge I'm having. Let me see. I just want to do something one more time and see. Just a minute. Okay. Can, do you see it?
Not yet.
Let me suggest that if we can't get this to work, if he could email it to you after we finish talking, I can email it
Okay.
out to all the participants.
Okay. Then I think that would be that would be better.
All right.
And yeah, I have on top of it, I have the map of Ghana, and it's showing up. The northern part is on top of the map, and what I have is on top of the map there is a brown portion of it to the top right corner, which is like on top of the yellow. The yellow portion is where my region is, where I'm coming from, which is it's just a new region. They just created it, not just like almost like 1.5 years now. It's not long that they created 6 new regions in Ghana. Formerly, we had 10 regions. Like in America, you can say states, so we call it regions. And the next video is about a Kenyan lady who I'm using her as my inspiration to show these artworks. She is an armless lady with a baby. She gave birth to a baby. When she was born, actually, the family wanted to kill her, but she was lucky. She was taken by a non-governmental organization or a religious organization that took care of her until she grew up and got married and giving birth to a son, a baby boy, which she's working with a telephone or telecommunication company right now. She uses her legs. Like if you watch, you say that my leg is my hand, because she uses her leg to do everything that the hand can do. Unlike other areas where people would have said, no, this is a child, and a spirit child is bringing something like a curse or maybe an evil thing into the family. So what they will do is to end the life of the child, childhood, or maybe or they'll always keep the child indoors. You'll never allow the child to go out. And below it, there's another image or another video of a man called Big Man. He is he doesn't, his legs are not good. He was born just like that, and his legs were not good. So he got married, and have about 4 boys. One is now in a technical school. He crawled because he doesn't have a wheelchair. He crawled to farm and back. Like he goes to work on his farm and comes back. Another thing about him is like he's somebody who is also connected to a religious organization where he is now even the secretary to that organization. And actually, he was also asked to be killed, but somewhere along the line, he was lucky, and they couldn't put him to death. So he was allowed to leave, and finally he is now he lasts 2 years or so. He won the best farmer award from his maize farm that he had cultivated. And below it we have Emmanuel Gift. I think I said this earlier on that when we meet, I will show some links. So this one, I think everybody can write Emmanuel Gift. Just write Emmanuel Gift. And I think if you Google this, you can get the link and watch the video on YouTube and other channels that you can watch.
If you're disabled in Ghana, you are a second-class
I don't know.
citizen.
Can you hear the voice?
Emmanuel's mission is to change perceptions.
Yes.
Emmanuel,
Okay.
what you've done here is an example for these young men and women that the sky is the limit.
Yeah, Emmanuel
People in
is
this part of
playing
the world
football with one
believe
leg.
that when a person is
whilst holding his
handicapped
cock.
or disabled, they believe that is a punishment from a deity.
I believe everyone in this world is a dreamer. My name is Emmanuel Osiebua. I was born in Ghana. When you're born in Ghana as a deformed child, they believe that you are cursed. So they ask your family members to kill you. That's how they tell my mom to kill me. And my mom said, no, I'm not going to kill my son. So the time I was born, my father left home, and I'm staying with only my mom, single mother taking care of me. Every day, my mom carry me from my home to school. It's like 6 months every day. But we know a foundation called Challenge Others Foundation, CF. They're based in San Diego, California. They help so many athletes like you. So maybe when you talk to them or when you write to them, they can able to help you. I sent the letter. A couple months later, I received this letter through my church. They sent me the grant form to fill it out. I sent the letter to them again. A couple months later, they sent me a bicycle all the way from California to Ghana. And I said, wow, today my dream is going to start.
Yeah, when you hear the music, he's riding a bicycle that was sent from California to Ghana. He's riding the bicycle right now. That is where the music is playing. But initially, the father wanted his life to be ended, but the mother refused. So the next video is about the lady, Mariam Wawira. That one is in a local dialect. So I will move to the next video, which is in English. So from the big man.
Walking for over 2 hours from Bamianku to locate Big Man at Cookville was not an exercise in futility, as the mere sight of him going about his chores sent goose pimples all over down the body of the news team. He's happily married to beautiful Alice Ishen, and the couple is blessed with 4 males, of which the eldest son, Evans Quayson, 16 years of age, and a second-year student of Kakim Technical Institute. Residents confirmed that this 5-bedroom house roofed with bamboo, which he occupies with his family, was built by himself. Whenever there is a leakage, he climbs a ladder unassisted to the top.
Here, big man is climbing a ladder to fix the roof of his house. There's a leakage with the bamboo that he used to roof the house. He's climbing the ladder to fix it. With all the legs, I think you watch the video later on. You see how the legs is, and he's able to use his hands and with a hammer and a saw to climb up the building to fix the roof of his house. It's more or less more inspirational than any other thing that we can think of as a human being. So I'll just continue.
The building and replaces the damaged ones with new bamboo sticks. Big Man believes that one cannot do just one business today and expect to be successful. So, in addition to his other engagement, he burns charcoal and sells them in sacks to supplement his income. It is marveling to see him move slowly through this cold brook with sacks on his head as he returns from the site where he burns the charcoal. He then hires people to bring the sacks of charcoal to the house from where they are sold to his customers. Big Man owns a farm, clears the weeds all by himself.
Yeah, he's using a cutlass to clear the weed on
The
his
trip
farm.
by the news team would not have been rewarding if they had not accompanied him to his 2-acre cocoa farm. Big Man had to crawl for almost an hour to arrive at his farm, a sight which could soften the stony heart of the most obstinate man. Seeing him squat with a cutlass in hand as he waits in his 2-acre cocoa farm is a spectacle. A display of his best maize farm certificate is enough to prove his mettle. Big Man tells the news team that but for a flood which destroyed his farm 2 years ago, he would have been harvesting cocoa by now. A wheelchair donated to him by a philanthropist about 3 years ago is not functioning. In spite of his tight schedules, Big Man is the head of the Adriana family and the secretary to the Sacred Action Church at Cookville, duties he performs satisfactorily. His urgent needs are a motor-powered wheelchair that will enhance his movements and financial support to expand his cocoa farm.
I will move. The next image on the slide is an artist who uses his mouth to paint at the culture center in Kumasi. That one is in Ashanti region, where it is in the southern part of Ghana. So he is an artist. He's a painter. You can see him painting the portrait of the vice president of Ghana's wife on the screen. And then I think there are other images of sculpture works showing the culture, the rich cultural heritage of Ghana in some of the pictures. And we have other images on the screen. We have a ceramic piece that was used to show how people with disability can be beautified and used to become part of a society, become useful to the society. And we have a disabled girl sitting down and eating with his hand. Another baby that is being loved, like I was talking about the what do you call it, the evil forest, where children with disability who are murdered by men, we call them concoction men. They go into the forest to get the poisonous root, boil them, and use them to give to babies born with disability to drink and die. So they are like in the form of consultants, where people with children born with disability go to consult them, and then they also have an oracle where they will consult the oracle to see how they can poison or kill the child, whether the child is really a child or he's what do we call it? He's a curse and what have you. So that is where you see a forest, in a painting of a forest. I did a painting of a forest, and I have a found object art, which is like sitting on a bicycle, representing Emmanuel Fosu-Yeboah. We just heard of us using him to change the way people think about children born with disability in our society. So I did that to enable people to see and change their mind the way they think about. Myself, for instance, within my family, before I came to the US, a little baby was killed because he had a spinal cord problem when he was born, and it took the baby for about like 2 to 3 years. He couldn't walk. He was always lying down. So the mother had to leave the marriage because he wanted the husband to agree so that they would send the baby to the concoction men to kill the baby, and the husband did not agree. So she called for divorce. Finally, the mother came back and picked the child down south, and later we heard the child had passed away. I know that it was the same process that the child went through, death. So you see some artworks that I did, some sculpture pieces with people with disability, one climbing the ladder, another two with no arms but has a baby, uses his leg to cook, feed the baby, and do everything with his or her legs to take care of the family. So these were some of the inspirations I used to trying to inspire people to see what people with disability can do in our society. Yeah. And this one, I think when I send it, you see you see a link, a YouTube link where you can see how the concoction men, the men who killed these children, operate. So I think because of our inability to have this video, or to have the videos and other things, big images for people to see, the bottom part of it is what Mr. Raja talked about, which is a nativity scene. It's just a sketch or a drawing of a nativity scene that I'm currently working for a church in Dublin. So I think if you have questions, you can go ahead with asking questions, and then whilst you ask questions, whatever prompts up, then we can answer the questions that we have about the meeting.
I have a question. You said that it's priests who were killing the handicapped children, the disabled children.
Yes, not priests, but it is, we call them concoction men. Like they have some, something poisonous, they use some poisonous roots to give the children to drink and die.
Wow.
Yeah, they are traditional believers.
So those are traditional beliefs.
Yes, yeah, they are traditional belief. God, they have a belief, traditional belief that it's an Asian kind of a belief that children born with disability are not fit to be with the society because people don't want to have anything to do with people with disability, and they are a curse. They are a curse to the family. So not only even those with disability, sometimes children born at a time where there is a calamity that befalls on the family, it is always attributed to the born child, the child who is been born, to be the causer or the one who caused that calamity to fall on them. So it's like a child that is being cursed or an evil child.
So they're thought to bring bad luck.
Yes.
The next part of my question is, what is the religion of Ghana? Has it adopted any modern religions or?
Yes. Me, myself, for instance, I'm a Christian,
Uh-huh.
a Lutheran, even far back in Ghana before I came to the US. So in Ghana, we have different kinds of churches in Ghana. You are allowed to worship any religion that you want. If you want to be a traditionalist, you are free to do that. You want to be a Christian, fine. You want to be a Muslim, it's fine. So nobody, you are not restricted to any other religion that maybe you have to be either a Muslim or either a Christian. No, you are free to worship. You can even be like we call them free thinker, somebody who doesn't belong to any of the religions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a question from one of our people who's watching who wants to know, can they see any of your art in a gallery here in Columbus?
Yes. The last show I had was at Mount Vernon, where on Mount Vernon at but we just closed the show when the pandemic also came in. So even my art is still there. I have not taken them out yet. But there was another show that came on that same day, but it didn't work because it was suspended because of the pandemic. So you can see, yes, you can see my artwork on, in a gallery in Columbus. But right now, you can't see it because of what is going on.
So you're saying it's on Mount Vernon Avenue is the gallery that your art is?
Second-class citizen.
Yes.
Emmanuel's mission is to change perceptions.
Are you seeing the video?
Emmanuel, what you've done here is an example for these young men and women that the sky is the limit.
Hello?
People in this part of the world believe that when the person is handicapped, believe that.
Okay.
You can only hear it.
I have some of the pictures of your sculptures. If I've attempted to share my desktop, if.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, but because I added, I deleted most of them and I added some new images this afternoon. Yeah, I'm getting lost now.
Did you?
Wow.
So can you see these?
I brought up the images. Now I cannot close the
you can't.
I can see. I can't close.
So this was you can see the woman that he was describing that's stirring the pot and holding the baby. In the video clip that Yajim had, it actually shows her changing the diaper with her feet.
Wow.
And then just picking the baby up out of the cradle with her feet and holding it. Let's see. And here is this was the exhibit at the King Center. So the man with no legs climbing. So these are life-size sculptures, just to give you a sense of scale. And Manuel is over on the left side of the image on the bike that was modified to be pedaled with a single leg. So this just gives you a sense, and I mean, I think the sculptures speak for themselves, but it's pretty incredible.
That is my problem now. I wanted the sculptures and then the works and then the videos and other things to speak for themselves, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with this Zoom.
Yeah, I know. I got the pleasure of seeing his art and his presentation last night. So, but I think your story, I mean, it stands even without the pictures, and the fact that you brought the story over here, I think it's important that the people learn about it. You mentioned too that you could possibly send some links of organizations that are involved in working in Ghana.
Definitely, I'll send the links.
So I have another comment and question here from Primrose. And here's what she says. Her audio is not working. So she says, when I lived in the United Arab Emirates in 2001 to 2002, I never saw a single person with disabilities. And I remember when Primrose made her presentation, she told us that. Apparently they are their family homes, and they are associated with bringing shame on their families. Sad, especially because I'd never had my son diagnosed with autism at age 6 in the same way. And then she asks, is that deficit model about disabilities changing in Ghana? I mean, not Ghana, Ghana. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Ghana.
Yes.
In Ghana, is it changing?
Yes, it is changing. Right now, there are other organizations, and it was outlawed from somewhere 2003. That kind of traditional practices that was part of the country was outlawed. So, but still, people do it, and they do it in secrecy. So that is the problem we have. It's not something that they are allowing. The practices cannot stop it unless the people get to understand the need and get to understand the importance of people with disability, how they are very useful to society, and I think that would touch their hearts, and they like the feeling of seeing people with disability as normal human beings like they are. It is only that when you are not, having that kind of feeling that you think that these people with disability are a curse to society. See, so there are organizations like Ghana Federation of the Disability Organization. They are in Ghana, and then we have Ghana Society for the Physically Disability Rights Fund, support for persons with disability, and then the Federation for Disability Organizations launch, and a whole lot of organizations there, but people still do it. They are, at some parts it's okay, but where I am coming from the northern part, where education is very low, and then the tradition is more on the high side than even in the southern part. So when you watch the video, you see how the journalist went undercover, came up north to meet these people who are referred to them as concoction men, like the ritual murders. See, for them to, he has his baby. According to him, he said after giving birth to that baby, all his riches, all his possessions got lost. He lost everything. So he's claiming that it was being attributed to the baby that he gave birth to, who brought that kind of curse or calamity to the family. So, and the people accepted to kill the baby. They started the process until he arranged with police to arrest them, and they were sent to the law court and they were jailed. But still, there are other parts people are still doing it. See, so what I see now is that it is not the arrest and then the jailing that will stop them. It is the education, how to educate the people to understand the need. You see, to see them as ordinary or normal people like any other person, because it is only that they are physically challenged, but it isn't that they are not human beings like us. See, that is why I'm using these sculpture pieces to show in my art, so that people will know that people with disability can also do what people without disability can do. You see, like in Ghana, we normally say the women went to Beijing conference, and the theme was like, what men can do, women can do better. So it's like people with physically disability or people without disability, what they can do, people with disability can do better, because you are not physically challenged, and he is physically challenged, but he can use his leg to do what the arms can do. But let's ask ourselves that if I fold my arms like this, can I use my legs to lift a baby, or maybe feed a baby, or breastfeed a baby? I don't think I can do that. So this is a plus for people with disability. What they can do, we, those who are not physically challenged, cannot do that. And even on the other flip side of the coin, if you look at it, we see them and we think that they are disabled, but looking at ourselves, our mind is even rather more disabling us than the situation that they are. So we rather even are disabled in our mind. The way we think is more or less a disability.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. We have another question here. Janet wants to know, how did you become passionate about people with disabilities so as to dedicate your art to it? Yes,
when I was a kid, that is why I had to go to school, because my father was a peasant farmer, and all my brothers were strong. They were physically fit from appearance. So when I was born, I was like very weak and so smallish. So my parents decided that no, this guy cannot work on the farm because he's so weak and too small. So what we can do is, please, let's send him to school. Otherwise, there's nothing he can do in this world. So I was sent to school because there were a lot of things I couldn't do like my other brothers. And secondly, like I said, several people with disability or children born with disability in my family were murdered because of the disability they had in them. By that time, I was under my parents and I was very young, and I didn't have that kind of opportunity. But God being so good, when I came up as an artist and came to the US and I had the opportunity to do more research into all these things, I decided that no, this is something that I have been thinking about for a long time. Please let me go for it. So I decided that no, let me go for the disability activism, that I can play a role that will benefit children and then even adults with disability, and also to educate the society about how important people with disability can be to society.
So how is your work getting back to Ghana? I mean, how are you having an impact on Ghana now with what you do?
Yeah, my work, I had some video clips and I was interviewed, and it was going to be shown on the national television when the COVID-19 came. So, but all the same, I'm still in contact with the national television people to telecast it, but we couldn't finish with all the audios and then the videos and then the editing. So that is why I'm still holding it back. But a lot of the publication that we had here by the Columbus Dispatch, a lot of Ghanaians read it and they gave a thumb up for that. And secondly, I understand there is about 600 and over 600 Ghanaians living in Columbus. So some of them came to the show, and I think they have also carried the message across, which I think it will go a long way to have an impact.
Yeah, I started talking about you, Yajim, but you're very impressive, and just to let people know that he lives in the Dublin area. He has a studio on the kind of Near East Side, and he does it all with bicycle and buses.
Yeah, I take a bicycle to work at. I'm doing my optional practical training. What it is like when you come to a school in the US as a foreign student, when you finish your education, or they call it after completion, you can apply to do a practical training. We call it OPT, which is optional practical training for 1 year. And July 9th will be the end of my optional practical training. So I wanted to see how best I can get a permanent working visa, which I can do more arts. But unfortunately, my boss or somebody who was trying to help do that delayed the process. So right now I'm trying to get back to school at Columbus State. So whilst working on my trying to process my documents. So if I'm able to process it, I'll do more ads, and you see more shows of Yajim around Columbus, and not only here alone, some will be in Ghana and other places of importance.
Well, I think your message was really important. And the fact that we need to maybe look at these people and then stop and think about clearing our own disabilities first, so that we can help. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So my life has been enriched by our relationship, and I appreciate you taking the time. I'm sorry the computers didn't cooperate, but I work with computers every day, and I do understand that sometimes they just don't help us out. But again, thank you. We'll try to keep everybody updated on your success to get re-enrolled in school and continue your stay here in the United States, because people like this, but people like you can and really have an impact. So
yeah, and I will urge each and everyone on this platform to continue to remember me in your prayers. I know it is not easy, and like I said that day when I spoke to the attorney, he was like, okay, if you go back to Ghana, it will take you 1 year, 6 months. But if you are in the country, it will take you 1 year. So I was given 2 options too. So I decided that, okay, then I will stay, which will be a little bit shorter than when I'm outside, because being outside, sometimes it's like they say, out of sight is what out of mind. So maybe if they don't see me, they might forget about me. I want to be around.
well, I hope you are around for a long time. So we'll stay in touch, and I'm trying to help too as best I can. And it just he makes a great example for I know there's a big element right now pushing against immigration, and it's just hard for me to imagine.
Yeah, I saw somebody sent something like that, that immigration, it has been frozen now until the end of the year. People who are seeking permanent residence or something like that. So I don't know.
I just want to make one more comment, and that is that I think you're such a wonderful example of how one person using the gifts that God gave you can have an impact and make a difference on something that you have a passion about. And I'm just so pleased to have gotten to meet you tonight.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining in. I'm sorry that we had technology was not our friend tonight, but again, the voice and the face were worth the time. So thank you, Yajim.
Okay, I thank you everybody too, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience or the disappointment, and that is technology for us. That is like yesterday I wrote a test, and the test was about technology, the advantages and the disadvantages of modern technology. I think this one would be a very good topic or very good disadvantage, though it has a very big advantage, but this will be one of the disadvantages of modern technology.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
very much. And thank you everybody that joined with us this evening. Makes it a great evening chat and learn, is what I call it. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, I will send the link. I'll send the link and you can have it and watch it.
Okay.
Good.
Good night.
Good night.